Hi, this is Candace Freeman. I'm doing an interview on new media and new media literacy and technology use for my CI5636 class. And tonight I'm interviewing one of my students from my medical laboratory technology program. Her name is Lindsay Aldridge, and she is one of my top students in the class. And so I'm going to ask her to tell you a little bit about who she is and what she's doing right now, and then we'll start the interview.
Okay. I'm Lindsay Aldridge. I just started my clinical rotation after having a wonderful year with Miss Freeman in class. Um, I'm currently in my heme rotation, which is heme, coag, and urinalysis. So it's a lot of multitasking with all three, just running back and forth and recognizing what you've got spinning down and new orders coming in and
Yeah.
just popping them in and popping them off and just making sure specimens are labeled correctly and with the correct order and all that. And it's been wonderful so far.
Awesome. Awesome. And Lindsay's great. She's doing a great job, and the people at her clinical site, they already want to hire her, which is absolutely wonderful to me. So,
Yay.
Lindsay, what I'm going to let you know is that this is being recorded, and I will share it with the classmates that I have in my classes and my instructors. And I want to make sure that you're okay with that. So we have your permission to do that.
Yes, ma'am.
Wonderful, thank you. So we're going to start off, and I went ahead and gave Lindsay just kind of like an outline, essentially, of the questions that I was going to ask, just to to let her get an idea of what we're talking about. But we're going to talk about new media and what new media is and how we use it in our lives, and we're going to focus on technology. And the first topic is using technology and being able to disconnect from it. And a lot of people, well, not a lot of people. People say that technology is neither good nor bad. It's how you use it and what you do with it. And a lot of people love to use it, but they have discovered that the best thing about it is that they can actually cut it off when they don't need it. So, what I want to ask you is, in your daily life, tell me the kind of devices that you use um, all day. What do you access from day to day? It can be any kind of technological device that connects you to the world. What do you use?
I do not have an iPhone. I've never had one. I probably will get one in a year when I get a full-time job after graduating. Yay. But I through my day, my 8-hour day, say in the clinical lab, I I don't get on Facebook or really email anybody. I check it as soon as I get home. I use Facebook every once in a while, say if we have a test or something. A lot of my classmates, are on Facebook, so it's easier for us to just all of us just bring that up while we're studying. So it's
Hmm.
easier to chat with one another than texting or calling.
Right, right.
So
So it's fair to say that you are not constantly connected to
no,
something.
and I am okay with it having it off.
Wow, that's awesome. So that's okay. So you could easily disconnect from it. That's awesome. Okay, so the second topic is the internet use and its impact on us. And a lot of people are saying that the internet is actually changing what it means to be a human being. And it's modifying our brains in such a way that it's literally driving us in a direction and we're learning in a different manner. So I wanted to ask you, what is your opinion of how society as a whole primarily uses the internet and views the internet? How do you think we view it in a positive way, a negative way, or what kind of way do you think we view it?
As a whole,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's negative in an aspect of everybody's constantly connected to Facebook or Twitter or Instagram on their phone,
Yep.
even at work
So you've seen it.
or even in
Yeah, you've
yes,
seen it. Wow.
yes, I've seen it.
Wow.
Instead of just you're sitting next to somebody at work or in a social setting like at dinner with friends or something, they're on their phones instead of being one on one with that person.
So how do you think
So it's negative in that aspect.
how do you think that impacts us socially? Do you think that that has caused us to not be able to interact as well? Or, like in this situation, you and I are Skyping, and it's made it easy for us to interact.
True that.
But as far as living in a quote unquote virtual world where we can chat online and not see each other face to face, has that been a negative impact? Do you think that's negative?
No, that's a positive
Okay,
impact.
okay. So it's an
Say
easier way
my
to
my
connect.
sister and all my family lives far away, and we use Skype with little kids and, seeing pictures and all that stuff. So that's a positive.
Gotcha.
That's a positive manner of it.
Okay, good, good.
So it's both, I would say.
Okay, awesome. So the next topic is talking about multitasking. And as a med tech, you have to multitask, okay? So this multitasking, we're talking about using multiple devices at one time and how that distracts us from one task that we should actually keep our focus on very keenly. So in education, a lot of people are saying that multitasking is actually doing a disservice to students because they think in their mind that because they can do 5 things at one time, that means they can learn better, that they can learn faster, that they're more effective when they learn something. And that is not necessarily always true. So I wanted to ask you, in your day, do you use multiple devices at one time?
I do not.
You do not.
I do not.
So have you encountered individuals that do use multiple devices at one time? And if you have, how has that impacted you? What is your impression upon that?
I'll say not at work where I'm at now.
Right.
Um, in a previous job, say with numbers or counts of inmates or such and such.
Mm-hmm.
Something they're supposed to be paying attention to. They'll be doing that and they'll have something off to the side that they're also paying attention to, like so and so just wrote me, or I got to check this, and that
Mm-hmm.
takes away from the priority.
So let me
So
ask you now, your previous job, state what that was.
I was a correctional officer
Okay.
for
So
the
for how long?
Atlanta Department of
How long?
5 years.
5 years. Okay. So in that situation, you had other correctional officers using devices that distracted them from their main focal point at work, which would
Right.
be monitoring
Say not
inmates.
necessarily in the prison because cell phones aren't allowed, but I
Okay.
was out on the road a lot and stuff and that. So
Okay, okay. I wanted to clarify that.
that
'Cause
took
I
the,
knew that
yeah.
was what you did, but I wanted to make
Right.
sure that, the people listening to this, realize that that happens
But they
sometimes.
don't have cell phones in the prison.
They
The
don't
staff
have
does
cell
not.
phones in the prison. Okay, I didn't know that. I'm glad.
Or they're not supposed to.
They're not supposed to. That's a good thing.
So,
Okay, so we'll move on to the internet and technology's impact that it's had upon education. And in my life, let's see, I'm 39, and I think you and you're younger than me, but we kind of grew up in the same generation where we weren't born into this technology. I remember when I didn't have it, and
me too.
you remember when we didn't have it. So a lot of people think that because children are born into it now, they don't know life without it, and so they evolve as it evolves, and it changes them cognitively. Whereas you and I are kind of like immigrants to it. We didn't have it
Right.
when we came up. We were raised in it, and so we've morphed to it and acclimated to it. But what the thought process is that children need to be stimulated in different ways, and it's almost that we don't know how to stimulate children and students to keep up with these advances. So I wanted to ask, in your opinion, is this true? And in what ways have you experienced technology, the internet, virtual learning environments, and other forms of new media utilized in an educational environment? So how have you been impacted from an educational perspective with this technology?
I can use you as an
Oh
example for
gosh,
this
no,
one.
you can't. Okay.
Well, I graduated from Sand Hills back in 2006, and back then they had Blackboard, but that was just mainly used for the online classes.
Okay.
My in-class, one-on-one classes with the teacher, did not really use that. Now it's Moodle. That was a
Mm-hmm.
big change for me
Mm-hmm.
last year. So
Oh, that was just last
all
year.
yeah,
Wow, I
well,
didn't
with
know.
you,
Oh
yeah,
wow, okay.
when I started with you. So using Moodle and all your virtual labs that you'd incorporate in your lectures, just getting us ready to know how to, maneuver a site and just know how to work it. So it's a positive. It's a
So,
positive thing.
do you think, and this helps me now, and it's going to help me in the future with the other students, do these virtual labs and other tools that I put online for you, do you think it helped prepare you for your clinical rotation, or do you think it kind of confused you now that you see it and you're there? And if it
I
confused
think
you, it's
it
fine.
No, I think it prepared me. But I'm one that when I go home, I have to study by myself before I can come in as a group.
Okay.
So learning it on my own, it really helped. It
So,
really helped.
so when you study at home, Do you go online and study the resources on Moodle, or do you use the textbook? Do you use both? Which one do you prefer?
I use it all together.
Use it all? Oh, use it all
I
together.
have I have my notebook laid out with your PowerPoint lecture, and I have it pulled up because I
Okay.
scroll, I write everything on there, so I go along
Oh,
with the
wow.
computer as I'm going along in my notes and the book if something I need more information on that subject.
Oh, wow. Well, I can tell you this, and this may not be applicable to this taping, but that's okay. The
Yes,
student
it is.
the student who is sitting in your seat this year, and I say your seat in the classroom because everybody gets,
Right,
they gravitate.
right.
She she's older. She's in her late 50s, okay? But you would always maintain eye contact with me, and you were always keenly
Right.
listening to me, and you paid attention, and you never had a look on your face like you didn't understand what I was saying. She is the same way. She is
Really?
exactly the same way. And she reminds me so much of you, the way she's learning and interacting and the way you did too. And she communicated to me the other week that she wants to go to Betsy Johnson.
Yeah?
Yeah, so I
Good.
thought it was really,
Tell her, go ahead.
yeah,
Put her
I
there.
told her I couldn't believe how ironic that was, that she
Yeah,
shares, the two of you share so much in common. But that's beside the point. But
that's cool.
you're a great student, and whatever you
Well,
do
thank
on
you.
your
You're an
own,
awesome teacher.
well, I can't, it's not me, it's you guys. It's all in what you want to do. Okay, last question, and I won't take up any more of your time.
Oh,
um,
you're fine. You're fine.
we're talking about an evolutionary process that the internet and technology has played upon us. And if it takes you a while, it took my mom 20 minutes to talk about this, but she has had a lot of time to talk about it. Um, it modifies us as human beings, and it actually changes who we are, and it changes what it means to be a human being. So in your lifetime, what kind of technological experiences have you encountered or participated in or been exposed to that you have seen actually change society and actually make a human almost evolve in real time in a learning aspect?
In a learning aspect,
Yeah, say for instance, for me, when I was growing up, I remember when the first Apple computer came out. And I was probably in elementary school, and we literally fought to get on. We had two in our
yeah.
school, and we fought to get on them to play Oregon Trail. And looking back now, I see how that was like a huge turning point in technology. So what have you experienced similar to that?
I don't, let's see. I did Oregon Trail when I was little. We didn't really get the internet until I was in middle school, like seventh
Yeah,
grade or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
And we just thought it was neat because of all the chat rooms and all
I
that,
know. I did too.
But we soon found out, I mean, we were young kids and such, so we didn't really know that we shouldn't have been on there, you
Right,
know?
right.
But I don't know if that answers your question
No, it does.
or
It's
not.
the internet. So the internet was the big thing for you when it came on the scene, and I remember when it came on too, and it was amazing to watch a page load, and it took forever.
Yeah.
But were you fascinated?
Or even the dial up,
Yeah.
it would take forever.
But you were amazed. I was amazed at that, and now when it's
Yeah.
slow, I want to pick it up and throw it. So yeah. So you would
Hmm.
say like the internet was a major change that you saw. Awesome.
Yeah, it was a change.
So obviously that was a positive impact.
It's a positive impact.
Okay. All right. Well, that is
I use it in a positive.
good. I've used it in negative in the past, and I don't like that. It's all in your perspective and all you have and the
There
way
you
you choose to use
go.
it. So listen, thank you so much for doing
Thank you.
this for me. I really appreciate it. I'm sure that my professor will appreciate it, and I'm going to cut this off and come right back to you. Okay?
Okay.